Movie theaters make their comeback with a Wonder Woman sequel.
Believe it or not, there is a Mandalorian connection.
So we go back in time or forward in time. I'm not really sure, but we do it on this episode of the Feel Good Media Show with Kevin and Milton. Okay.
Hello.
We are back.
We are back. But under a different circumstance.
Different circumstance. We're not doing a show this time. We're going to do a film. We're going to do Wonder Woman 84.
Yep.
And we want to warn you, if you're watching, we are going to hit spoilers on this episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, hit pause, go and see it immediately, and then come back. We'll still be here.
Yes. True story.
Yeah.
It would be absolutely impossible to do one of these episodes spoiler-free, I think.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be fun.
No. You got to talk about what you saw, what you experienced,
Yes.
and what we experienced, separate from the movie itself, is we actually went to see this movie together. We went to a movie theater.
Did, and we're still alive.
COVID didn't grab us. It wasn't waiting at the door.
It did help that there was no one there. So that was a benefit.
How did that feel to you, like being in such an empty theater?
Well, that was the third movie I've seen.
Okay.
And everyone has been completely empty.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 4 other people in the theater with us.
Right.
At Wonder Woman. It makes me sad because I love the theater. Right. I love the theater experience, and I know that industry is hurting hard. You know, we met with the manager at Village Cinema.
Yeah.
And you could just see the weight of him talking. I mean, it's a serious thing, and they're trying to do business and keep this place open. So go back to the theater. We think it's safe.
Yeah.
Of course, do what you want to do and you
Right.
feel safe with. But I felt fine. It wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, we had the bro seat between us.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Which is important even outside of COVID.
Yeah, true. I mean, masculinity needs to stay high, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to hold hands during the movie or anything like that.
We're not sharing popcorn.
No.
Splitting the snacks.
But I got my soda. That
Yes.
was fine.
Yeah.
You got what did you get?
$5.87 soda. Where else are you going to pay $6 for soda? No,
but it was
it's
worth
okay.
every penny.
That it was.
Yes.
You have to do it.
Right. So we're there. We enjoyed it. We're hoping that people will start coming back. I mean, I remember the days when you had to plan your theater. You had to get on the app, make sure you got your tickets ahead of time, because if not, you were not going to be able to see the movie when you wanted to see it. And now it's like,
yeah. So Wonder Woman is the first Warner movie that has come out on the new HBO Max deal.
Right.
So you can see it on HBO Max day of theaters, or you can go to the theater. Nothing replaces the theater experience for me. So I'm there. I love it, and I'm there.
Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
Okay, so
If I can go to Target and Costco, I can go to the movies.
there you go. I'm with you.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Let's talk about this movie a little bit.
Yeah.
The potential was there in my mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's set in the 80s. Who doesn't love the 80s? Everybody loves the 80s. It's just it was such a strange time.
Right.
Just music-wise and clothes-wise and just the attitude of people at that time. It was so even the movie tried to kind of mimic the campiness of the 80s, which was wonderful, right? Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, our friend from Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
Pablo.
Hans did the
Hans
musical
Zimmer.
score.
I mean,
Hans or Hans?
I think it's Hans.
I like Hans.
Okay, fine.
With no D.
So it had
Yeah.
the potential to be great. Even Kristen Wiig, great actress.
She was great.
To me, it fell flat on its face. Because no matter how strong your cast is, no matter how strong your music is, if the story sucks, I'll just say, if it's a weak story, you're going to have a weak movie. You got to have a good story. And I just felt like the story wasn't compelling.
It wasn't compelling. It didn't feel like the bad guy was he was boring. He was so boring.
Yeah.
I will give props to Cheetah, the character, the villain,
Kristen Wiig's
Kristen
character.
Wiig, who makes me laugh every time I see her, and she was hilarious in this movie. I actually laughed quite a bit in the first half part. And and then I cried in the second part. but she actually entertained me and did good.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but it worked. But yeah, the whole plot and revolving everything around wishes and some stone that he digested and now is, and it was just like, I don't know. I walked out wishing for a better script for Wonder Woman 3. That's my takeaway.
Which is already announced. They are doing Wonder Woman 3.
Sure
it's going to be Patty Jenkins doing the writing and the directing again. I hope she does better, honestly, because the first Wonder Woman I enjoyed. I thought it was a good story. It was compelling. I will say that, to me, the two best parts of the movie were Chris Pine.
Yes.
His acting of someone who's come from the past into the future and experiencing that after 66 years of being dead, supposedly.
Right.
So he was great. His portrayal of, I love the scene where he goes into the subway, and he's just floored.
What is this?
Yeah, what is that? And then this kid who plays the villain's son. I thought just in his eyes, the sadness that he was able to portray at seeing his father go down this awful path of greed. Yeah. I just thought those two characters really, really grabbed me, and I thought they were the best parts of the movie.
Well, and I completely agree with Chris Pine. Great actor and one of the best parts of Wonder Woman, and they killed him again. Like twice. Yeah. It was like the first time I was like, no, he was the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
And then it happened again.
Supposedly 66 years passed between the first Wonder Woman and this one. And I was thinking, like, we're in 2021. So 66 years is like somewhere in the early 50s. Can you imagine if someone from the early 50s woke up in this time? What would they think?
It's a different
this
world.
Like, you're talking about the days of what was it, like leather jackets and jeans and like T-bird cars and
just not only the look but just the politics and the religion and just the way we talk and the way
internet
we dress and
the
technology. Yeah, it'd be huge. It would be crazy.
It'd be crazy.
It would be a mind
and I think
trip
Chris
for
Pine
sure.
just did that great.
It wasn't the trailers, but when he looks at the garbage can and thinks that it's it's just
modern
a garbage can.
Yeah, garbage is going to always be garbage.
That's true. Yep. And so, with that thought, continuing our discussion on Wonder Woman 84.
Well, okay, not every movie's great, right?
No.
But there are things that we can take from it. We try to look at these things through a Christian spiritual lens, and right from the beginning, they established that this was going to be about truth versus lie, greed. Where greed takes us as a society, and I think they did a good job of bringing those points, forward in the movie.
They're softball themes.
For sure.
I mean, I think everybody understands that the more you want and the more you try to achieve and the more you try to collect, really you have to give stuff up.
Right.
But that's also biblical.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's gain the world, lose your soul. That was Wonder Woman 84.
Right, exactly.
That was it. I mean, it was a full-on
Toby Mac sings about it, and now Patty Jenkins directs a movie about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
I mean, really, and they spoke about gods, and you have the whole mythology of what Wonder Woman is, and that's fine. But I think definitely the theme was just the destruction of society as everybody wants to wish for what they want, and how they're going to be taken care of,
right?
Which is embedded. I think it's truth. It's embedded in all of us.
Yes.
I mean, anytime you want something, and most frustrations that you have, where do they come from? They come from a selfish heart. They come from I was treated poorly, or I would deserve this, or this guy did this to me, or it's all about you and what you are not getting, and.
Right.
This movie just took that to a massive extreme. What happens if all of us get that type of wish at the exact same moment? Chaos and destruction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So. And just think about it mathematically, or just it makes sense. Like, because how many people do we have on this earth?
Like 7 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
So there has to be cross purposes, right? There has to be opposing desires. So if everybody gets what they desire, it has to lead to chaos, because what you want has to go opposite what somebody else wants, right?
Well,
then it's automatic conflict.
Right. We saw that recently.
Yeah.
Definitely in our nation's capital.
Right.
You have people who want to burn everything down, and you have people who want world peace. And when those two things merge, what's going to come out on top?
Yeah.
And what came out was chaos. Was a lot of chaos.
Right.
So
and let's put it down to an even more practical level. You're married, I'm married. How many times, for the sake of the strength of the relationship, do we have to give up what we want? And I'm sure you can tell hundreds of stories of when you had to do that, or when your wife had to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And we do that for our children. We do that for our society. We have to, because if we don't, the relationships can't be stronger.
Yeah.
And we have in the villain, he came finally to that realization that the only way that he could save the relationship with his son was to give up everything that he thought he was chasing. And I thought it was one of the nicer moments in the movie where he renounces his wish and he goes to his son.
Sure.
And they embrace. And finally he figures it out. Like, yeah, this is where it needs to be, not in all that other stuff.
Yeah. No, it's definitely some good messages.
Yeah.
Let's do some feel good, do good.
Okay. I guess I'm doing the feel good. The world is designed to alienate us, right? And we had the Kristen Wiig character that she just felt invisible, insignificant in the world, right? But that's not how we are with God. Like, we're not insignificant to God. We're important. We mean something. We're valuable to God, and it feels good that if everyone else rejects us, forgets us, overlooks us, doesn't notice us, God does. Yeah. And there's always someone there that you can go to who's going to listen, who's going to be there, who's going to come through for you. That feels good.
Yeah. And the do good for me is just to choose people over prosperity and things.
Yeah.
To just make sure that that I'm focusing on my relationships and not my career, not my accomplishments, not any of those things, but truly invest in people, because at the end of the day, those are the things that stick, and those are also the things that God cares about. And so that's the do good. Care about what God cares about.
There you go.
That's people.
Awesome. Well, there you go. You have your feel good, you have your do good, and we're wrapping up this episode covering Wonder Woman 84. We are not going to stop. We got more stuff coming, and we want you to be a part of it and want you to go with us. So here's how you do it. You like the video, you subscribe, you share it, but most important, hit that bell so that the next video, when it pops up, you get a notification and you can join us on our next episode of the Feel Good Media Show with Kevin and Milton. We'll see you next time.